morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the ZRacing Race Watopia Stage number 2 series. We are out on Watopia Flat for a quick 2 laps. We're going to get right down into the racing, 20 seconds to start to the start of the A category. We'll also be covering the C category as well. Dave, as we get the live images here, I want to just give a quick little update to everybody. If they're new to this, what this ZRacing series is all about.
Yeah, what a great introduction to racing on Zwift, Nathan, is you kind of high reward, low risk, to tell you the truth. And one thing that we're doing out here, so there are 5 weeks of racing that we have. You're jumping in with us here today on week number 2. But Nathan, one of the things I really love about this is this would be the best possible race to do with Nathan Guerra, because if you are in a group that's motivated, that wants to race really hard and sort of air quotes around it, work together. I know that's not the name of the game, but you'll greatly benefit as you can race as many times as you want during each week. We have 5 different stages, and we have some exciting news about the final stage. But the best group that you race with will really benefit you because you'll have that fastest time, and you do get to take the best race that you have throughout all of the opportunities that you take. So here we go, 20K, 2 laps. It's going to be a throwdown today, one of the faster stages that we'll see this week.
It's going to be absolutely flying out here, actually, with the two laps that are going to be out here with this course. We will be in with the A's and the C's, and it is stage racing, interesting enough, isn't it, Dave? Which is something that you don't, necessarily. I think a lot of Zwifters don't realize, especially if you're newer to the scene, that there is stage racing and there is GC. One of the community organizers, or some of the community organizers that are out there, do have places that you can jump into their stage racing. This is also kind of an introduction to finding your place amongst the stage racing that you can do out on Zwift. The Z racing takes an idea, I think, that was developed from Chasing Race and Dirt and a few others out there, and developed it into this place where you can find pretty much on the hour, every hour throughout the week, you can find one of these Z racing events every single month. The stages go from Monday through Sunday. So this one, for stage number 2, the availability is going to be all the way until this Sunday, actually. So if you're looking for the ability to do this, is the first opportunity from the 9th all the way open till the 15th for this stage number 2. It is tracked on GC standings over at ZwiftPower.com. You can go ahead and find that over there. C category just jumped out on course. 136 starters, Dave, in the C category. We'll jump across there to get some live images of how things are going with them. But a lot of starters in the C category. That's always great to see.
Well, good. I can't wait to throw some energy behind that group. They deserve it as the numbers are really growing. So, Nathan, we do have 2 power-ups in play. I'm wondering your thoughts. If you had a group that came out here and said, look, we're going to absolutely throw down. We've seen this in some of the chase races in the past with that draft and arrow power-up combo. That's got to be the best 2, Nathan, if you have a group that's motivated to flat out pin it out here on Watopia today.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, the only other, yes, definitely.
It
could be arguable, especially on a flat route. Like the feather could be a little bit of a thing that you might want to do something with, but I think, you're definitely.
Yeah, we have 120 meters of climbing out here today over the 2 laps, so that's a little bit, but it's not much. It's not enough that the arrow would affect things, or you get what I'm saying. So, all right, here we go. No bonuses out here today. So it's a scratch race. They're just racing to the finish line. And as Nathan was talking about here, a motivated group is what you're looking for. And that's what these C's clearly are. When you see, one of the recently it came up talking about quantity being its own quality. Nathan, I think this is the perfect example with our C race out here today. The quantity of this group is going to have a huge impact on their speed.
Yeah, 100%. And we are seeing a massive group, as you said, in the C category. I'm all the way back. And the churn from this group, like, immediately brings me all the way back to like 45th, 50th place. I mean, that's how many riders there are in this C category. C category on the left-hand side of your screen. Right-hand side of your screen is going to be the A category. Faderberg, the Danish rider here, giving a little bit of a push off the front, actually, here, really trying to push things up. And this, for those that might not be familiar with the Watopia flat course, this is going to be the section where there is a little bit of climbing up into the marina areas. And so this leaving of the underground tunnel, I think, is going to be the one section where you can gain some time a little bit over some of the other competitors, or perhaps even some of the other races that have gone off in the GC. GC standings are currently led out. From what I'm seeing here, the Vikings have shown up to give it a little bit of a go. Yeah, Jar Mardovic, I think, is actually leading things. And this is actually, this guy is an ultimate Zwifter. We're going to see if we can get some cool boards made for this specifically, but I can also bring up the current situation for the standings here real quickly. And this is going to be, if you head on over to leagues at the top here on ZwiftPower, and you can find the Race Watopia hashtag right there. That's actually what brings up this page, just so everybody knows that. Race Watopia right here gives you the overall standings. Then you have these times, as you can see here, for the shortest times. Jan Mardovic here from the Vikings team, actually, with a 102.53 after 2 stages. Now, again, you can do this as many times as you want to in order to get your best time. But that essentially, with his 2 goes at this, that's what he has, is a 102.53.
And I'm guessing, Nathan, that he has already raced this stage there, that combined time of 1 hour and 2
He probably
minutes.
did it early this morning, I
better.
would think. Sometime very early this morning, or even Jarl. I actually know Jarl pretty well. I race with him fairly often, and he tends to race when I get on my bike very late at night, actually. He's a very early, up early in Norway, actually. We've got, okay, in the A category, let's jump right down into this, because they're just popping off. From the moment that they hit that marina area, leaving the Ocean Boulevard underground into that little climb into the dirt, bam, Scotland Clean kicked it. Off to all here from Callis, as well as Von Hein. I mean, this is just popping off. ESRT with Nystrom as well. People are falling off the back. This is all hands on deck. The pumpkins here are cheering them on the right-hand side.
Yeah, we've got an OSS situation. Only the strong are going to survive through lap number 1 out here as we take a look at a massive power surge happening up on the front of this race. And Nathan, they're going to split this race, maybe not in half, but we're going to say goodbye to quite a few riders sitting on the back of the group. So as we move into this new phase out here, some of the big names like Christian Ofdahl is out here, Christian Nystrom as well. That's a rider that I would put a check mark next to watch in our finale. And of course, Mr. Oxen is back, and he's been one of the strongest finishers that we've had out here. The Danish rider Fallberg, Nathan, certainly I'm going to be paying attention here as we move through lap number 1 of 2. It's a throwdown going on out here, and I love it. The American, appropriately called Big Dog, at all tracks.
I'm looking here real quickly. There's going to be Hexagon is definitely represented as well, which is interesting to see that they've shown up on the day. I have a feeling that they're probably showing up to try and get some racing legs underneath them before some ZGP. I'm seeing as well one other rider to watch out for, Warren Muir, pretty quiet so far throughout the race, but never somebody to sleep on at all. Canadian national
James
champion.
Young as well, Nathan.
Young is here. I'm seeing Ivany is here as well. Raced with him over the weekend, actually. Always a good one for a sprint. Knows things really well when it comes to timings. So if he can sit in amongst some of these big hitters here, we're seeing. I mean, there's a lot of actually really big names showing up out here today. I'm really impressed with this field and who has shown up to take on this 2 laps out here on the Race Watopia. Off the doll here, Callis, ESRT. It doesn't get much more old school and top of the line is Callis, so they're off the front.
Yeah, here we go. Wow, these guys are just taking out that 20-pound sledgehammer, or I guess, 10-kilo sledgehammer and just wailing away here. And that's certainly going to keep the average speed very, very high for this group, for those that can survive this absolute wattage onslaught that we've going on right now. So, Nathan, you can see that these splits, there's enough riders with horsepower available that they can cover these splits, but there's going to be some riders that find themselves on the wrong side of splits going on. Torben Oxen has been a phenom that we've picked up on out here in Watopia. It's amazing how clearly they're all racing with this same mindset, just coming up and over the top over and over. As you get a good look at the Canadian mirror here, a rider that I would always say, if you can look around and see that Warren is around, you're going to be in pretty good shape. So here we go, back to the front.
Villarino coming from the DZR up and over the top here on the Tron bike, with the new Tour Watopia hat, actually. So good to see as he comes over the top to keep the speeds as high as possible. 9:38 in. Dave, how long do you think this race is going to take them? They're about to finish up quickly here for this flat loop. I think they're going to do this in under 13 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking 27 minutes for the whole race today, Nathan. I was going to ask you in our pre-broadcast about what is the fastest average speed that you've ever seen on a course that's comparable to something like this, because we're going to be getting there with the levels that these riders are bringing into this season. You mentioned Zwift Grand Prix coming up and ZRL already in full effect. It's been an incredible ZRL season. Really looking forward to tomorrow's racing as well. But Nathan, if they're going to keep attacking with this kind of fury out here, it keeps the speed. I mean, at no point have they backed off out here during the first 8K. It's been full gas, as they say in F1, gas, gas.
Yeah, Nystrom here now on the attack here a little bit into the Essies. Von Hein here, TF now, and McLean now coming over the top, it looks like, as 9.3 watts per kilogram kicking from him up into 538 watts. And this is going to keep the speed super high through the Essies. They're going to see over 55 kilometers per hour, I think, through this. Jumping on the wheel here, getting that pack speed on through. Drafting power up now coming, it looks like, from Nystrom as well. 9 watts per kilogram to jump on terms with that. That's going to bring them through at 60+ kilometers per hour, entering into the roller coaster. If they continue on with this speed, this could be absolutely best time. And that's going to start splitting the group if they continue on with this. This is going to be crazy Essies. One of the fastest I've ever seen, actually, I think, with the kind of speeds they're pulling through.
Yeah, you feel like you're on a roller coaster, but somebody greased the rails as well as you're coming through here. I mean, this is almost going to make you motion sick if you're. And so you look at this group, Nathan, and that is significant when you take a look at how many guys are still here to contribute heading into lap number 2, or that's going to be coming up here pretty quickly. So doing an exceptional job out here are our A's today. Nathan, I'm wondering how much of the mindset, at what point do guys start thinking about, yeah, this is a GC battle. The time is what matters over all of the 5 stages. Very cool opportunity to better your time if you can find a stronger group to race with later in the day. But they're also going to be racing for a stage win. There's no doubt about that. I'm starting to look at the sprinters in this group. And when you look at raw watts, James Young certainly comes to mind, as does Jan Bauer, the German rider out here on RSV Stuttgart.
100%. Polet, some of these riders here, like Pollet, as well as I'm thinking Christian Nystrom, Oftedal, they're all going to be looking to press the pace and perhaps get a breakaway situation, because they are up against some of these monsters that can kick up into like 17 watts per kilogram, etc. So, I mean, I'm seeing...
Alexander Danel would be a good example of that, Nathan.
Yeah, I don't know if Danel's been beat as of recently in some of these races, actually. He's such a strong sprinter. Be on the watch out for him for sure. So as I just said, Nystrom here then pushing on with that aero power up, using it right before he's about to get another one from the ESRT team. He does have a little bit of a gap here. Now, the reality of how strong this pack is, it's going to be very difficult to get away, but if you can get 3 or 4 here off the front, Oxen, Oftedal here as well, the exact riders I was just talking about, they're going to want to try and split this. The timing for splitting here is absolutely perfect. You come down out of the Essies there into that flat section with all that speed right through the pack up into 57, 58 kilometers per hour. Now this though, when you jump from the front of the pack, a lot of times it just drags them along. If you don't go through the pack, I actually had a lot of frustration with that this past weekend. I was out in the KISS 100. I was racing. We were trying to break the pack apart, and a rider or two, they kept on jumping from the front of the pack rather than rolling through. And so they go from like what the pack speed actually was to whatever they were trying to do to bring back the attacks that were going. And many times that gives the pack just enough of a draft to get their speed up as well. So there's kind of a tactic to attacking here. Obviously, everybody's trying to get involved. They know that if this goes up the road, it's game over. And they've got about 5 or 6 establishing now. And I'm not sure the kicks there from the front of the pack are really going to be doing well. See, now as everybody's starting to boost across, it is starting to get things back together. The question is, will it survive into this downhill? That is the big question. I have a feeling it's all going to come back together. If you're sitting in that pack at this point, you've got anything left because you've been sitting in, the time to jump across will be the moment it hits the bottom of this descent into Ocean Boulevard, because it's another opportunity just like the one that we just saw coming into the lap banner, actually, because we're about to get into that roll through. Somebody can take some speed, maybe jump through over on Ocean Boulevard.
I'm absolutely cringing looking at this, Nathan. I mean, this would be I don't think that there's anybody sitting in this group that's sitting in with the mindset of playing games. I think everybody right now is just doing everything they can to hang on in this group, more or less. This is really the first moment that we've had where you can almost take a deep breath and grab a quick drink if you're sitting in air quotes peloton at this point, because these guys have gone into it with a mindset that really fits the race for sure. It's been aggressive, but it hasn't been insanity. It's been controlled aggression at the front, and if anybody seems to have anything to give, they're throwing a little more coal on the fire up on the front. I really did like your point there, Nathan, about how by attacking off of the front, it's really a lot like a good in real life thing to learn as well, is 2 things, really. You don't attack a race when it's easy, because if it's easy for you, it's easy for everybody. You do it when it's in the gutter and nobody is willing to go as deep as you are. That's where you find real separation. And if you attack from the front, everybody sees the move. You're telegraphing that. But if you can come a little bit sneaky using that draft, you can see how it's almost like a win-win. So going back now and picking up the front group in both races, Nathan, it looks like the C's might have a hero or two rejoining, and that would be impressive if the small group here looks to me like about 7 riders possibly rejoining the peloton. If they can do that, good on them.
P. Biggs trying to get back on, Thomas from WWC, but this is the group that may be able to rejoin. We do have, it looks like, Kierstemans, and then the Polish rider just jumping on here. Some attacks here, and I'll give it a little bit of a move here, but it is Magnati, Dejamko, and Stevenson out of the UK. Thomas here, the Welshman, not going to be able to do it, it looks like. He's going to be rejoined by Hoff as well as Pete Biggs from Level Racing. Another group behind here, Finnish rider as well as Clarent here coming out of Sweden. Those two are going to just be crossing on through to start their second lap. The main group, a little bit of a kick here. I think that these 4 may be able to do it with these power-ups, but that front group, they're hauling here at this point.
Yeah, so just to hit a quick reset for everybody joining us, thank you. First off, we're into our second of 5 races that make up the series here. Today, it's 2 laps, 21K, and at this point, we're effectively into the last lap for both of the races that we're covering. You can see Nathan's got the split screens up with our C's. I wouldn't say anybody's relaxed out here, but the C group has a peloton with a couple riders starting to go up the road, or at least one I would call serious attack, something you'd want to pay attention to. You don't want to let a grass fire turn into a structure fire, do you? So back out here, though, with the A's, Nathan, I think this is where things are hotting up as Torben Oxen, the Danish rider, has attacked with old school fury out here on Watopia today.
Quick little replay of what actually went down there. 51 kilometers per hour. And did you see where he came from? Middle of the pack, bumped it up
as
to
we were
7 8
saying,
watts per
right?
kilogram, 52 kilometers per hour, got an immediate gap. And the interesting thing is he went on the flat prior to the climb. Everybody expects the climb, right, Dave? Everybody expects it to happen right where everything heads uphill. You attack into a climb, and if people's legs are a little bit tired or they have to chase a little bit going into the climb, and then you're able to hold a solid watts per kilogram, a solid power over the climb, a lot of times that's what's going to make it happen. So as you can see, this is exactly how it went down. Let's go ahead and jump right back into our split screen here, see how things are playing. The C categories are going to be heading down into Ocean Boulevard, that section actually that Oxen just attacked out of. Now we're heading over into Ocean Boulevard here. I mean, the second half of Ocean Boulevard for the marina. He had 6 seconds at one point. Off to Down now wants to get involved. He's jumping across. Great section to jump across for those new to Zwift racing is the dirt, because the pack slows down through there. Your jumps are going to be a little bit more rewarded, but that pack, they're not letting them get too much distance, but they might start sleeping a little. 4.6 on the front. They're starting to spread out across here. Now Falberg can see the writing on the wall. I think a few of these riders will maybe start jumping as well. If you want this to survive, you jump across with massive numbers rather than just pulling the group. GR here, he's not doing that. He's actually going to just pull the group here, it looks like.
Which might not be as far as if you're in that group, that's exactly what you're looking for. And here comes some reinforcements now as we are just turning the first page of the final chapter now for this stage number 2. So this is going to be good news for Oxen, I would say, getting some help as the two could start relaying each other, giving them actually, in a lot of ways, Nathan, if I'm back in that peloton, I am loving the current race situation, because these are two of your danger men. And I think that if you look at it from the big picture, I think that the peloton right now is not too worried.
3 seconds, not a whole lot. These boys need to go all in, 6-7 watts per kilogram on this climb at this point. 1% uphill gradient. This is where you can gain the most amount of time. They're not even outmatching the front of the peloton with G Gloss here on the front, coming out of Germany at 5.1 as well, matching what they are doing. Interesting enough. Now 156 beats per minute. 500 watts. A little bit rough there for him there. James Young now.
One of the danger men here with Young, Nathan.
Yeah, he may be going across here at 6 watts per kilogram. He's got a little distance. Look at the bottom of the screen there. You can see those meters. If he's outside of 5 meters, which he is, they will not be drafting on him. But now he backs off. He's allowing the pack to come right up to him, it looks like.
Yeah, actually what he did is absolutely just neutralized the breakaway here. His surge, then they come over the top of that, and now you get that avalanche effect, and that'll be that for the two riders off of the front. So we can hit the reset button as we move into our finale now. Where's the counterattack, Nathan? We talked about you want to attack when it's hard. Well, that's now.
Yeah, is that Nystrom?
Christian Nystrom?
Yeah, it looks like he's going up right immediately. If you did see on the right-hand side just a moment ago, you could see that he saw they were being caught, and he was taking his speed right on through. Nystrom then immediately to the front. Loving this move by him, because I don't know if anybody's really going to be too much in the hurt locker with the pace that they would put down just a moment ago for that, but it definitely looked like Nystrom had made a plan here.
I think everybody's got one toe dipped into the hurt locker, but they haven't completely jumped in at this point. I had to laugh seeing Falberg there putting up, I don't think that was an intentional text, but the GG, maybe that stood for good God, is how hard this is going to be for the finale.
I think he said good game, good game. I think it's good game for like, I'm done, good game, thanks a lot, this is over now.
Over and out.
Yeah. 1 second, Dave. It's only 1 second. Oh, you want just a little bit more than that? You know, I'm a breakaway kind of guy. I love it. I love to get into a good breakaway. And right now I am like just gritting my teeth going, come on, guys. We need to get that distance here. But the attacks, they're not quite enough to really make any kind of a distance. Oh, we are seeing an attack here. Is that a Belgian rider going off the front? Little bit of a push, it looks like. And yes, it is going to be McKean's here from the dirt team. Stanzarski is here as well, it looks like, from Mutant, just covering everything. The speeds are still high, but not enough to get away.
Actually, and it, again, benefits the collective here. I can't imagine there's going to be a faster group than what we've got going right now, Nathan, but that's part of what's been so cool about the Tour of Watopia is that, you know, multiple cracks at this. Many riders are in this group are actually doing the second race of this stage. But here we go, coming up very, very quickly on 3K to go. Starting to look like it's going to be a group sprint to me, though, Nathan, with this many riders and with this much motivation. I don't know how you'd crack the code to be able to roll off of the front here now. So does the
You can
mindset
pull
change
a
as we
near. The
move?
only way is if you pull a next Zach near move, like
Right.
from here and just
Well,
all. But literally, it is all in. I don't care if I lose.
it's
Kind
win
of
or
a
die
move.
trying,
Yeah,
as they
because
say.
if you do
And
get caught, it's game over. But the kind of move you have to make has to be
but
everything you possibly
is it?
have from here on.
Is it though, Nathan? With no bonuses, and as long as you finish in the group, if they catch you, you'll get the same time, more or
True,
less,
true,
right?
true. If you're there
So I
for the
do
win,
think it's
though, like first across the line, I mean, you've
sure,
always got that
100%.
the pride of first across the line. But yes, I mean, it's a win-win, especially if you're looking for just the times.
And if you're looking for the experience, I mean, this is a great opportunity. We talked about how, for a lot of these riders, they're far from on the learning curve. I mean, we've got some guys like John Verm out here that are top-notch, world-class esports racers. So it's not so much about learning for these guys, but the repetition. Repetition is the mother of learning, and the practice of just going through the experience. So here we go, talking about that experience. There is nothing like a finale in esports, and this is going to be a great one. O'Brien, Nathan, I believe, was our outright winner last week, but he's got his hands full with this group.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be. Oh, there's the move, actually. Big move. Big attack
Draft
here.
power up.
Axed here. AXT here. Dragons taking the draft power up right on through them. 700 watts here. Gets a little bit of distance, actually. It's got about 15 meters. A pack is starting to form off the front here. There could be three that try to make a breakaway happen, but now it's going to be Big Dog O'Brien. They're able to lash on quickly. McKean's not up and over the top, and this starts to get those slingshots rolling, but there's got to be so much more continuance. The orange numbers need to pop for so much longer, and I'm not sure these riders have that in the legs any longer after just a few. I mean, only 20K, but you can already see how difficult this can be if the attacks are nonstop, Dave.
This is almost like a WTRL Thursday team time trial, but we've got 45 riders in it. As these guys now are going to benefit if they can keep coming up over the top. The continuance that Nathan talks about is going to be critical. As we've talked, through the past about how you've got to zig when they zag if you want to win races. Unless you can do it on just incredible talent, you got to crack the code. And I think McKean's has been one of the riders that's shown he is really getting stuck in out here today. As we take a look at the front of the race, everything all together now, and effectively, Nathan, we're into the final kilometer now.
Drafting power-ups being popped now, as you can see, because they last a lot longer than the arrows. So anybody with one of those, they're going to be using it now. Now to the front, it looks like Mutant with Obdam. That's a little bit early to be at that section. McKean's now, he's been kicking for quite a long time, probably going to be famed. Here comes Nystrom now. He's going to be the lead-out man. Eifert here now coming from the Dragons, but over the top, it is going to be Russelang out of nowhere. Here comes Hexagon, though, with De Vroot, but Bierman, he's got the 17 up and over the top. De Vroot, Dano, that's going to be the finishing order, I believe. What a kick there, actually, from Bierman at the end.
Dano got up there.
He did. I think
quite.
he's second or third, it looked like, there from Danel.
Yeah, Alexander Danel was one of the riders that. Oh, we're going to jump right in with the C's, Nathan. Great
This
job,
is actually
by
the
way.
D category. This is the D category.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're totally fine. They're finishing up their second lap. The C category are just entering the SCs.
Even
I'm just getting
better.
a lot of shout outs, actually, from chat, actually. Let's go Ds. We can see you. And we're jumping in with the D category as well. But let's check that C category because they are into that same section. We're just watching with those attacks as they head on over into the Italian village. Not quite into the S's yet. It's going to be P-Dub from PWCC in that C category, about to ramp things up at 17K in, about 5K to go.
I love the fact, Nathan, that you're able to get the D's up on screen here. We got the C's, though, right now, so we're going to call this finale. They're looking at, as you just watched with the A's, some valiant attempts to try to get away, but that was all neutralized. Same thing here. These guys are having at it, as this is going to be P-Dub here of the PWCC team that we're checking in with. But front group now, Nathan, and it looks like there's going to be some riders who are going to be coming back into this group, showing you that never throw in the towel, never give up is the mindset that you need as a racer.
So riders are starting to use that drafting power up. And so for those that might be newer to the world of Zwift racing, why are they using that drafting power up right now? Because they are looking for a different power up, or at least get the advantage
or double dip, right?
Exactly, of having another power up coming up into the next section, because as they head under the sprint banner, they're going to be collecting another power up. So before you get into a race, knowing the sections that you go through banners where you collect power ups is very, very crucial. Actually, seen somebody from PTZ there on the left hand side using that arrow power up right there. A little risky in my opinion, because I would want an arrow power up coming into the final, but perhaps if you're suffering a little bit, you want to reserve some of that energy. But now he may have gotten a draft. He might be wanting the draft. Not exactly sure with the sprint coming up here that why he'd want that. But sometimes some people do like very specific power-ups here. But draft first arrow, with a sprint coming up, I'd 100% be keeping an arrow, not using my draft coming into that banner right there. If I have a draft, I'd probably be going with the 50-50 dice roll and looking for that arrow power up going through that last banner.
So as Nathan said, you can see the van power up there. That's going to be draft. It's interesting how they're somewhat similar as far as power ups go. And right now you can see a bit of a split happening in this group. So these guys are going to be really bearing down on it here on the front to see if they can get a time gap on some of their competitors here as they move into the final few kilometers.
Yeah, and now it's going to be Cermak here.
It is splitting.
Pennsylvania. It's splitting a little bit. Now, another attack up over the top. Is that going to be another ESRT rider? ESRT are everywhere. C category, D category, B category, A category. Loving this team, actually. Great that they're showing up to so many of the races. Super committed to this world. It's going to be Fritz from R2 on the front. Now this is going to be Holiday as well. The UK now with the drafting power up rolling on through. We've only got a couple of K left, 2K or so at the most to go here. The Valkyrie now with Ostolv now to the front coming out of Norway. And this is going to be one of our female competitors out here. Great to see the women jumping in amongst the C's. Yeah, and she's right in here with it.
Yeah, it's an open category, and that is noteworthy. It's not anybody who wants to race in this group can, and she's certainly doing a really impressive job. Nathan, I am just gobsmacked that we have 136 riders taking the start here. That is really, really impressive. It shows some tremendous energy in the world of esports right now. This is a great place if you haven't done a lot of racing. As you're mentioning, there's a lot to take in, understanding the usage of the power-ups, how you reload, all of the different elements. This is a really good place to start taking some notes, checking some boxes, and learning how to race out here.
100%. The ZRacing always on every hour of the day. You can find some racing to be done. Now, this is one of the most old. This is actually the most old school sprint that there is in the world of
the original sprint.
This is the original. The only other place that I actually have one stream recorded from Jarvis Island. That would be the only place that there's an older sprint. But this is the one that's known, and you actually can open up right about here from the middle of the pack. But with steering, things have changed up a little bit here. As you can see, Samson here with that, is that the Vegan Cyclist kid actually trying to go on the right-hand side, but it's going to be AR Boom. And this has been a C rider to watch out for a sprint. I've seen him done this quite a few times recently. Perfectly timed there. Over the top, it was going to be Cyclone Irvin, and then Samson, followed by Wilcox, and then the Blue Hat Cat. I was going to say Cat. Blue Hat Man. Loving Blue Hat. Look at this guy. This guy's awesome. This is a great on the rivet with the blue hat, Latape, OTR, and an orange Tron bike. It kind of fits a little bit, liking the setup there coming from him. So nice little sprint there from the C category. Love the show that they put on for us out there today. Taking on the front with those two with the steering, actually interesting enough, with AR Boom not having steering, just right out of the pack. And that goes to show, Dave, that you can still make it happen without steering, especially in a sprint situation. The steering almost can get in your own way sometimes because you're out of the draft.
That's an interesting point, Nathan. Overthinking things, right? So when you think about it, every now and then, sort of the badges, we don't need any badges. If you've got those kind of watts, you can just go to the front and throw down and let them steer all over the place behind you, right?
100%. Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, if you have steering on and you try and jump out of the pack to the right-hand side, you better be able to take on that pack speed, right? Like, otherwise...
Because you're going right into the wind. I mean,
exactly. So
Yeah, which would be pretty unadvisable in real life racing, right? It's exactly what you're trying to not do, is spend as little time in the wind as possible. But conversely, Nathan, if you can use your steering to jump over and cover an attack, that's massive, massive benefit.
Yeah, and so the lesson I think learned there is being able to sit in to the right timing, and the timing was just a little bit off, perhaps. That you really do get a lot of extra speed in and amongst that pack right up to the last 200 meters. If you try and jump outside of that last 200, even 150 meters, somebody might come over the top with the extra speed that they're getting from everybody else. Now, Llama's here, though, talking about extra speed. NZ Bro up and over the top. This might be a breakaway situation for the D category.
This might be the last one. Nathan, the other thing I wanted to add on to that is if you're going to jump, steering can be highly effective because you can all of a sudden clean your rear wheel as well, right? So that if you've got a plan, you can reuse it highly effectively. But let's go ahead and take a look at this big effort that we're looking at now from the NZ Bro rider here. But that's going to be covered. And here you go, counter over the top. And it looks like a teammate making that move.
Cop here. No, up into the top. Actually coming out of Canada, it looks like. Unfamiliar with this.
Not a
rider.
teammate.
No, not a teammate. And actually, Dave, the one cool thing also amongst the D category, C category, B category, a lot of times in these Z racing is that you will have a lot of introductory riders actually to the scene here. And on a Monday here, in the second stage, Cop might be giving a little bit of a go here in his first ever broadcast race, perhaps as well. I'm not sure, but always great.
Well, welcome
to see.
to the big time, right? And definitely you're going to see riders who are not level 60 Zwifters, right?
Well, I'm mistaken. This guy's
Zwifters.
level 56 actually. So Cop's been around. He's got 622 races. So I guess Cop has been here for a little while. He's got a gap of 5 seconds. I guess this guy knows what he's doing. We'll have to figure a little bit more out about llamas as well.
That's funny.
Yeah,
exactly what I wasn't saying. He's ridden as much as Kristen Kolchinski.
Are you kidding me? That's amazing. Henry Lamas is here as well, level 35, riding for NZ Bro. He's a little ways back here, 7 seconds. Now, I'm not sure they're going to catch him. I think Kopp is gone. David Kopp has made this happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much more than a kilometer of racing, holding on to about a 6-7 advantage. Now, this is what you're going to call scraping the bottom of the barrel here from the Canadian. I have always loved the phrase Canuck up. Canadian athletes always have something special, and here we go. I think Canadians are like the Northern Hemisphere's Australians, just a little bit fiercer than a lot of other nations. And, well, unfortunately here, this peloton.
Pontier's trying to make something happen as well here.
Going to run out of real estate.
It's not going to happen for him. This is trying to follow up what the Cop made happen. But he's up pretty much out of sight at this point almost. They're starting to ramp things up with 200 meters. It's just a little bit too little, too late.
Yeah, this is how you grab the bull by the horns and win a bike race out here. Congratulations, as this Canadian strongman really showed us how it's done. Here comes the surge behind, but these guys are going to be fighting for second out here, but they're going to love the good time that they're going to take for the GC battle.
NTS and WNG across the line. Good to see NTS. No, what is it? No, not too
shabby.
No, well, not. I mean, not too shabby is one of them that they use, but no. Oh, come on, Nathan! I should know this because he gave me so many. They gave me so many different ways that they actually say what they are. That there's like a couple of different things that it can be. I'm actually jumping into their Discord right now because I need help with it. Chat's gonna be going off on me for this one, that's for sure. Nice little sprint there from NG. We'll bring in the results here in just a second. But what I definitely want to do is highlight as well, if you are new to Zwift Community Live, you're new to the broadcasts and you're unsure, or it's been a little while, you're just jumping back in from the winter, you can head on over to ZwiftCommunityLive.com. You can see all the broadcasts that we are up to for the week. We do the Z Racing every Monday at 12 p.m. CDT. Then we have a broadcast for the Zwift Racing League while they're in season. We will be, obviously, as Zwift Racing League, the first round wraps up, we'll be then replacing that with something else on a Tuesday. And then SCR, midweek every Wednesday for their autumn series. Some of these things will change up as we go throughout the winter and the Zwift racing seasons. But this is what we currently have on the docket. And of course, we also have the Wrap podcast. We broadcast that every Thursday. Now, that time has actually changed. It's no longer the 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. CDT. We actually have changed that to 11 p.m. But head on over to ZwiftCommunityLive.com. If you sign up, actually, you can also get updates on any time that anything is going live and all the kind of news that we do have about, especially Zwift Racing League. We post about that as well. So, well, Dave, nice little racing going on for Z Racing stage number 2. Next week, we've got on the docket for stage 3. Where are we heading next week? I think it's going to be
Two bridges.
Yeah.
Right. And then Volcano Loop and then Mystery Race for week number 5. I'm excited for that. Some new roads opening up in Watopia.
Yeah, so next week it's going to be race number 2. They're going race number 3, is going to be 2 bridges with Power and Arrow, and then race number 4, we've got the counterclockwise for 4 laps. That's I'm excited for both of them. 2 bridges is a very interesting one with a little bit of a kick in there for only 14.7K. So that's going to be a very short one, but a really good sting in it each lap. But this one is an old school course, Burrito, Ghost, and Feather. It's got a good punch right in the middle of it every single lap. Very tactical crit circuit type race. And then race number 5, make sure to be there. Again, we will be broadcasting all of these. I have gotten some messages asking if we will be broadcasting. ZwiftCommunityLive.com is one place. Another place that you can find everything is our YouTube channel. Everything that we're broadcasting up through pretty much the month of October is going to be on our YouTube as well. Already scheduled and ready to go. Hit those notification buttons over there or just subscribe and follow. But we've got a mystery course coming up. Some of that background imaging there, Dave, that is coming from this season on Zwift. It's some of the surprises we've got coming up.
I love it. Talk about Easter eggs. We're going to be really enjoying that final week. So great racing, everybody, today. I have a feeling these broadcasts might put a couple extra watts into the front of the race. If you're looking for your fastest stage, come join us.
Yeah,
we'll get your name shouted out.
That might be a thing. That definitely might be a thing. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the results here. Berman, 26th. That's a fast. 26:30 is fast. Alex Denel coming on through 26:30 as well. It's going to be Corentin De Vroot. He had a solid jump. I thought he was going to be able to take it, but it ends up in 3rd place. Paulo from the Afghanster team in 4th. Jan Ifrit from the Dragons. Etienne Brossard from Hexagon there. It's going to be Nicholas Rosselange, also coming out of France, I believe, there in 7th. It's going to be Mads Rupp Jodedsen from DZR. Warren Muir, Canadian national champion, I believe, there for 9th place. Mads Flashberg for FCQ coming in for 10th. Let's go ahead and jump across to the B category for the results.
All right. Thank you, Nathan. It's going to be Patrick Molinari for the Jet team taking the win with a 28:39. You can see that's going to be the front group through top 7 spots that record that time, with Mikkel Semin in 2nd place, taking the silver medal today for the MTBTR team. Carl Fredrik Gudjonsson for ESRT, bronze medal, 3rd place. Carl Olsen in 4th. He's with ESRT. They were everywhere during our broadcast today. Great job, ESRT. Ronin rider Jorge Saez in 5th. It's Florian Wu for Foudre in 6th. And then Patrick Lilbach for Skelf in 7th. Now, again, all of those riders get that same time at 28:39. A little bit of a gap back to 8th place. And Philip Patzer in top 10 in 9th for Just Ullman for Team CLS. I should say that Patzer riding for KCB5. And rounding out our top 10 here for the Bs, Johan Vesterberg for AAC. Back to you, Nathan, for the Cs.
In the C category, as we saw, it was Ali R. Boom. Solid kick to the line. Gets almost a full second over Renee P. from DBR. It's going to be Samson in for 3rd place in the bronze. It's going to be Noah Wilcox in 4th, followed up by Scotty P. Blue Hat for the OTR on the Rivet. Racing there in 5th place. Pete Watkins Dub in 6th. Zert van Lieren in 7th place, followed by Adam Brandford from the Backyard team, 1.7 seconds back in 8th place. Beeble Brock showing up again. Good to see him from the herd. Out in 9th, and it's going to be Daniel Vrooklyn in 10th place for Team SZ. Nice job to them all out there. I do want to try and see if I can find some of the results for the ladies as well out there. We do not have separation for this specific these categories here in Z Racing, but I do want to give a shout out in the C category. We saw Luis Godfrey from ESRT, Matilda Olsen also out there from ESRT, Sisel Klusev, Ostwald for the women out there also from the Valkyrie team. Charlotte Kempton came in 4th amongst the women. So that's what I'm seeing so far from the women. Hillary Bond is also out there for 5th, I believe, and Marik Rimanatsky. That's all in the C category for the ladies. I'm not sure we saw any ladies in the B category. Well, excuse me. Teffy was out there as well as Tempso 9. So those are going to be the riders there in the B category for the ladies. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to them.
Good. Thanks, Nathan. Here we go with the D Open category, and we did witness that breakaway from David Cope holding on. Great job, Dave. So David Cope taking the gold medal and the win in the Ds. Williaming in silver spot there for NTS 33. It's going to be Henry Lamas IV of NZ Pro in 3rd, taking the bronze medal. 4th place going to Daniel Reska of Coalition. Trond Samslat of the V team in 5th. It's NRC's Steve Dawes in 6th. Kevin Scanlon in 7th. Remy Gasilia for Foudre in 8th place. Walter Vissier in 9th for ZRG. And Jonathan Rigby rounding out our top 10 for the Ds today. Good job, guys.
Well, that's going to be it for our Z Racing coverage, everybody. Thanks so much for everybody for tuning in. Tomorrow, we're live with the Zwift Racing League. Tuesdays are super busy around here. We're covering Europe, and we're getting an early start tomorrow, all starting immediately from what is the 11:30 broadcast for us. If you want to head on over to ZwiftPower.com, you can actually see exactly the categories that we are covering. We always make sure to update those by Monday. Sometimes we get there a little bit earlier. I'm going to show everybody that real quickly from my desktop here, though. But if you are wondering exactly how you can know what we are covering, we will be putting it up on a post over at ZwiftCommunityLive.com, but we also do update the Zwift Power events as well. We're starting as early as Zwift Racing League 11:30 Central Time, that is the East, and then we're going to go all the way through and cover to the 1:30 Central Time for EMEAW Central. So the women, both of those are going to be covered, as well as the 3 of the men's races, or the open races for Temples and Towers. And for tomorrow, we are on the B categories across the board. Last week, we were on the A's and the D's. Tomorrow, B categories across the board. If we can jump in with the C's and the D's as people finish up, we'll do so. But focused in, B category tomorrow. We're also got the Americas, of course, as well. Both those separate broadcasts. So I know a lot of people are always asking for this information. What are you covering? Where are you covering? And in my head, I have all these assumptions about, well, don't you know? Well, no. A lot of you don't know. Like, ZwiftPower.com is always updated with what we are covering. And then we also do update ZwiftCommunityLive.com with a post about what we are covering as well, with the links to the broadcast. And you always find those on our YouTube as well. We've been live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. People can always, what do? They subscribe, Dave? That's how they also get updates, right?
Absolutely. And communicate. Be a part of this community, because we absolutely love the feedback, and being able to tell your stories is super important to us. Nathan made a huge commitment to trying to cover a lot more than just the A's, and we've really put that into play. It's been more than just lip service to that. We've been doing it. It's been super fun. We've gotten to know a bunch of new folks. And to me, Nathan, I think the smartest move we've made in the last 6 months has been really opening up the coverage to the entire community. So thanks a lot for making that effort. I know it's been a challenge, and you've really stepped up.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's really great, because the other thing is the connections that are being made with all the people in the community have been absolutely awesome. Getting to know all of these teams out here. So yes, continue to reach out. hang out and chat, especially for the podcast. It's a place where we get to know you pretty well there as well when you start bringing in info and feedback about the things that we're bringing up there. So that's going to be on Thursdays. Watch out for that. Zwift Grand Prix is launching not this week, but next week as well, Dave. So there's going to be so much racing going on. So stay tuned, everybody. Long Zwift season, awesome Zwift season. It's kicking off. We'll see you tomorrow. Zwift Racing League, bright and early. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. As always, from Dave and I, ride on.